The viewer's mind, why people see different stories in the same image. Have you ever stood beside another person while looking at the same artwork, only to discover that each of you saw something completely different? One person sees beauty. Another sees sadness. One sees freedom. Another sees loneliness. The image remains unchanged, yet the meanings multiply. This is one of the most fascinating aspects of visual art. The artwork does not exist only on the canvas or within the photograph. It also exists inside the mind of the viewer. Artists often speak about creating images, but viewers create meanings. Every person who encounters a painting or photograph brings a lifetime of experiences into that moment. Memories, emotions, beliefs, culture, education, relationships, and personal history all influence how an image is understood. As a result, no two viewers ever see exactly the same artwork. This becomes especially apparent in figure studies and fine art photography. The human form is one of the oldest and most universal subjects in visual art. Because everyone has a relationship with their own body and with the bodies of others, images of the human figure often trigger deeply personal responses. What feels peaceful to one viewer may feel vulnerable to another. What appears strong to one person may appear fragile to someone else. The artist may begin with a particular intention, but intention is only the beginning of the journey. Once the artwork enters the world, it becomes a conversation rather than a statement. Viewers contribute their own interpretations, often discovering meanings that even the artist never consciously intended. Psychologists sometimes describe this process as projection. People naturally project aspects of their own emotions and experiences onto what they see. A viewer who recently experienced loss may notice themes of absence and longing. Someone feeling hopeful may focus on light, openness, and possibility. The image acts like a mirror, reflecting not only the artwork itself but also the inner world of the observer. This explains why certain photographs can feel deeply emotional even when they contain very little narrative information. A simple gesture, a quiet pose, or a thoughtful expression may awaken memories that exist entirely within the viewer. The photograph becomes a catalyst for personal reflection rather than a complete story. Culture also plays a significant role in interpretation. Different societies have different visual traditions, values, and symbolic meanings. A pose that appears confident in one culture may be interpreted differently in another. Certain visual elements carry historical associations that influence how they are perceived. Because of these cultural layers, artwork often acquires new meanings as it travels across different communities and generations. The same image can even change meaning for the same person over time. A photograph viewed at age 20 may feel entirely different when viewed again at age 50. Life experiences reshape perception. New memories create new interpretations. The artwork remains unchanged, yet the viewer evolves. This relationship between image and observer is one reason why art remains endlessly fascinating. Unlike factual information, which often seeks a single correct answer, art welcomes multiple truths. It does not always ask viewers to agree. Instead, it invites them to engage, reflect, and discover. In painting, artists often use ambiguity deliberately. They leave visual questions unanswered. They simplify backgrounds, obscure details, or avoid explicit narratives. These choices create space for interpretation. Photography can achieve the same effect through lighting, framing, focus, and composition. By withholding certain information, the artist encourages the viewer's imagination to participate. Ambiguity is not confusion. It is an invitation. When every detail is explained, the viewer becomes passive. When some mystery remains, curiosity awakens. The mind begins searching for connections and meanings. The artwork becomes interactive in a psychological sense. Fine art photography frequently relies on this principle. A thoughtful pose, a quiet gaze, or a carefully composed figure can suggest countless stories without confirming any of them. Is the subject remembering something? Waiting for someone? Reflecting on a life experience? The image does not answer. Instead, it creates possibilities. This openness explains why powerful artworks continue to attract attention year after year. Each generation brings new perspectives. Each viewer contributes new interpretations. The image becomes a living conversation that never fully ends. There is also a deeper lesson hidden within this process. When we interpret art, we are often learning about ourselves. The emotions we notice, the stories we imagine, and the meanings we create reveal aspects of our own inner lives. Art becomes a tool for self-discovery. The viewer may think they are observing the artwork, but in many ways, they are also observing themselves. In figure studies, this effect can be particularly strong. The human form is familiar to everyone, yet each person responds differently. Some viewers focus on strength. Others notice vulnerability. Some see beauty in form and composition. Others connect emotionally to mood and atmosphere. The same image becomes many different experiences at once. Ultimately, there is no single story hidden inside every artwork waiting to be discovered. Instead, there are countless possible stories waiting to emerge. The artist provides the visual language, but the viewer completes the conversation. And perhaps that is the true magic of art. A photograph or painting may begin as one person's vision, but the moment it is seen, it becomes something larger, a meeting place between the artist's imagination and the viewer's mind, where new meanings are created again and again.